Welcome, my friends. This is Hughes from the Heart. Those of you not familiar with me, my name is Spencer Hughes. Been a radio personality almost 30 years now. It's a long time, more than half my life, really all my adult life, in the radio broadcasting business. I used to be a political radio host, and that ate away my soul, depleted my heart, wore out my energy and my patience. And then I said, can't do it anymore. And then I turned to something better. I turned to this format of positivity and hope and kindness and compassion. And many of you never forgave me for that. But I got some news for you, Jack and Jacqueline. There's plenty of screamers on the radio. There's no shortage of antagonism out there. Do you think? This is a podcast about health and wellness. It's about mindfulness, meditation, minimalism, the law of attraction, prosperity thinking, the power of the subconscious mind, the power of your will, thoughts becoming things. You get the picture. Stuff that'll enhance your life, not make you want to run away from it. It's a podcast to make you feel better about yourself, your fellow human beings, the world we all live in, and the universe we all share. And this episode is absolutely free. My only hope is that if you like what you hear, you will end up not just taking the free bites, but actually paying for the bigger bites and joining Hughes from the Heart. I could use all the support I can get, and I think my podcast is really, really valuable right now. Everybody's just out there being negative, doom and gloom, and everybody seems like 1 inch away from eating each other with anger and vitriol and resentment and politics and pandering and bickering and fighting and infighting. Everyone eating their own young. It's disgusting. So if you want something better for yourself and for your life, then please join Hughes from the Heart. It's very simple. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes of your day. Costs you $1 a month, which last time I did the math, and my math isn't so good, but it's correct in this case, 3 pennies a day. 3 pennies a day to feel better about yourself, your fellow human beings, your world, and your universe. I think that's a bargain. If you think so, please join patreon.com/Spencer Hughes. This free podcast is, again, even my podcasts about coronavirus are all from a positive standpoint, proactive. We are vigilant on the podcast, but we are not fear-mongers. We're not going to scare you to death that the entire country is going to go the way of Italy and that we're all going to die. And that we're going to point out the correct news and the hopeful news. I'm not going to be here with your death toll every time somebody drops, maybe from this, maybe not from this. I'm not going to sit there and give you the body count. That's not what my job is here. My job is to be a purveyor of positivity and to find the best case scenario in any of these cases, and that's what we do here. So this one is an educational podcast, and it is about whether or not it is safe to go grocery shopping. Questions asked and answers given. This is from a piece by Dana McMahon from thekitchen.com, and I want to share it with you because it is very good information. It's scientifically based. It's medically based. And I want you to know that the situation changes all the time. So I am podcasting this for you on March 20th. Now, don't hold me to this if on March 30th or May 1st, the information may be different. Okay, as of March 18th, when this was written, this was absolutely correct information. Things, again, change by the day, perhaps. And, we used to think that drilling holes in the heads of mental patients was a good idea. And we kind of figured out that it wasn't. So paradigms change. Okay. People once thought probably the moon was made of cheese, or they didn't know what it was made out of. And then we landed on it and put a flag up there and put people on it. Had them walk around a little bit, come back with samples, and we had a better idea of what the moon was all about. But for the longest time, we had no idea. So we are learning new things. So to be fair, information can change. This is information that as of March 18th, 2020 is correct. Now, I'm podcasting this for you because I think it's good information, and you may be like me where you are kind of hunkering down to the best that you can. Here in Washington State, we have not yet, as of March 20th, been put into any kind of a lockdown or any type of a lockdown, shutdown, or anything like that. Restaurants and bars have closed. A lot of non-essential businesses are being requested to close, but we have not been forced to the level of California and today Illinois and other places where people are pretty much being told you have to stay home unless you absolutely can't be. So in a little bit, I'm going grocery shopping, and that's a big question on a lot of people's minds. Is it even safe to do that? Now, of course, people should be limiting their interactions with other people and keeping social distancing top and foremost in their minds. But what about going grocery shopping? I mean, even those of us who have pretty good stashes at home, we still need to go to the store at some point, right? Unless we have a totally self-sustaining farm and we get all our livestock and all our vegetables and all our fruits and everything from our own fields and trees and pens and things like that. A lot of people, most people, I would argue, don't live that way. And we do at some point have to get into our cars or on our bicycles or something and go into town and go to the supermarket. Now, of course, the main concern when you do that is coming into contact with someone who might be sick or spreading sickness. And this is where the whole social distancing thing comes in, that we should stay at least 6 feet away from other shoppers. Another area of concern, of course, the grocery cart handle. If you're going in there for more than just a handful of things you're tossing into your bag, you're probably going to use a shopping cart. So use those sanitizing wipes that are at the front of the stores. If not, try to find some if the hoarders haven't gotten them all. These blasted hoarders that are taking thousands of everything, hundreds of everything, and dozens of everything. Shame on all of them, by the way. I hope you're not one of them because you're part of the problem, not the solution if you are doing that. So have some sanitizing wipes on hand. And be sure to wash your hands religiously. Wash your hands when you get home, when you're done unpacking the groceries. And don't touch your face in between these steps. We tend to touch our faces 50 to 100 times a day. It's obsessive. We can't stop doing it. Now, what about ordering groceries for grocery delivery? Again, the groceries themselves are likely to be fine, and we'll expand on that just ahead. But the risk here is coming into contact with a delivery person who might be infected. And that's why a lot of companies are just having people leave it on the porch step and not actually doing any interaction with people. You pay for it by credit card or debit card or your account or whatever, and it gets handled that way. What about bags from the store and food packaging itself? Well, there's no evidence at all. According to the FDA's own website, there's no evidence at all of food or food packaging being associated with transmission of the COVID-19 virus. It's possible that the virus that causes COVID-19 can survive on surfaces or objects. So here are the rules. Clean, separate, cook, and chill. Ben Chapman is a professor and a PhD and a food safety extension specialist at North Carolina State University and explains that the virus could be present on packaging, but microbes are difficult to transfer from a surface to hands and are susceptible to cleaning and disinfection. And there are a lot of things we can practice along the way. Hand washing, cleaning, sanitizing, cooking food to proper temperatures, keeping food refrigerated. As always, the experts recommend having and using a reliable food thermometer to make sure foods are getting to the right temperatures and things like that. Now, Dr. Chapman says you don't need to wipe down every can or bag or box that's in your pantry with disinfecting wipes or even those that are coming off the shelves at the store. But if it does make you feel better, it doesn't hurt. If you have an abundance of these wipes, then go ahead and do it. Whatever makes you feel better. What is necessary, though, according to the doctor, is a good post-grocery handling hand washing. So wash your hands after you touch the groceries. You put things away at home, wash your hands again. All sorts of multiple steps. When you take out, let's say, the mushrooms out of the fridge or out of the carton, open that and can of tomato paste. In between all these steps, just wash your hands. It's not going to hurt. Now, there is no evidence whatsoever that this particular virus is transmitted via food surfaces. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. Now, there are some viruses, of course, that can live on food surfaces, but the risk of contracting viruses from food is very, very, very low. Now, let's say a worst-case scenario, and you've all probably thought it. What if somebody who's sick coughs on the lettuce at the supermarket when you're not looking? And then you pick up the lettuce and take it home and make a salad. Well, if any droplets come from that person's mouth and land on the lettuce, it's a finite number of droplets that are actually viable with any sort of illness, according to Dr. Chapman. And even that will subside over time. In other words, if somebody were to cough, let's say 1,000 little microscopic droplets, most of them would be totally harmless anyway. And even ones that might carry something would dissipate over time and disappear completely. So the primary concern is hard surfaces. All right. Nobody's saying to set a timer on your produce before it's safe to eat. Just wash your produce. Wash it. The recommendation is to use a clean vegetable brush, especially if it's anything that has a harder surface like a cantaloupe. Brush it under cool running water, but make sure you clean that veggie brush with soap and water and rinse it after each use. So Chapman says, is washing 100%? Again, it's really, really low risk that the virus would transfer to begin with. Now, does heating or cooking food kill the virus? Sorry, the phone's ringing. I apologize for that. Does heating or cooking food kill the virus? The answer is yes. The best data that experts have right 3 minutes if you're cooking. Now, does heating or cooking food kill the virus? Sorry, the phone's ringing. I apologize for that. Does heating or cooking food kill the virus? The answer is yes. The best data that experts have right 3 minutes if you're cooking something. But once again, for anyone, just wash your produce before you cook it, period. Freezing fresh produce or other food in attempts to kill viral matter is not the best method. It's not very effective either. Freezing is how they preserve viruses in labs, by the way, so just keep that in mind. Now, some people ask, is it safer to buy produce from a farmer's market? It's a judgment call, according to experts. Maybe fewer people have touched it, but there's no guarantee. Again, you could have 100 clean people touch a piece of fruit, and you could have one ill person touch a piece of fruit, right? So you could have 100 people out of 100 touch your piece of fruit and not be sick, and you're okay. And then you could have one person out of 100 touch your... So you just never know. You never know. Just wash the produce. Wash, right? Now, what if you're in a higher risk group? Should you buy prepackaged produce? Experts say consumers who are immunocompromised should consider purchasing prepackaged fruits and vegetables as an added measure of caution, or choose to eat cooked fruits and vegetables at this time anyway. Is it safe to buy prepared food from the grocery store's deli counter? Sick employees are, if they're staying home, hands are being washed more than ever, and extra sanitizing regulations are being put in place. You should be okay. Chapman reminds us, beyond those things, though, it falls back on the fact that food has a very, very low risk of transmission. It's not an area of risk that they're really concentrating on. It keeps coming back to the fact that food's not something we've seen as a means of transmission. And if you're worried about the packaging the prepared foods come in, treat it the same as your cereal boxes or other packages, and just wash your hands after handling it. And no, we're not going to run out of food. Nobody is even saying that, so don't worry about that. The hoarders are making it look very, very panicky and crazy, and that's what hoarders do, unfortunately. And please, my friends, when you go to the supermarket, leave some stuff for the rest of us. You don't need 5,000 years worth of toilet paper. I'm Spencer Hughes with this free podcast. This is my Hughes from the Heart podcast, so I just gave you 14 minutes of my life for free. What do I ask in return? All I ask is that you consider joining my paid podcast, Hughes from the Heart, by joining today at patreon.com/Spencer Hughes. Show me that you support positivity. You support kindness and compassion and love and people getting along and cooperating, and stories of health and wellness and mindfulness and meditation and the law of attraction and prosperity thinking and thoughts becoming things and the power of the subconscious mind. Do you believe in that stuff and you support podcasts that do as well? Please consider joining me for as little as $1 a month. patreon.com/Spencer Hughes. Patreon.com/Spencer Hughes. This has been Hughes from the Heart, coming at you from the beautiful blue skies and the forests of Mason County in the South Sound of the Evergreen State from the Spencer Hughes Podcast Studios. I'm Spencer Hughes, your host and creator of Hughes from the Heart, and I hope you will join us. Be well out there. Keep your head strong. Keep your mind strong, keep your faculties intact, beef up your immune system, be smart, wash your hands, and I can almost guarantee you will be just fine through all of this, and we will get through it. How do I know? Well, we've gotten through every other bad thing we've all experienced, right? Every bad thing you've ever experienced in your life, however horrible it was, disease or divorce, loss of a job, loss of a career, loss of anything, you're still here now. You have survived every bad thing that has ever happened to you. That makes you a whole lot stronger than you think you are. Much love to you, and talk to you soon on Hughes from the Heart.